Good morning, Team Alabama. We are ready for page 105, and the date is April the 8th. Open Don't You Dare Read This, Mrs. Dunfree on your Chromebooks. And we are ready for page 105, and the date is April the 8th. Do you remember what day Mom left? February the 12th. Mom has been gone since February the 12th, and the date is April the 8th. So February, March the 12th, almost April the 12th, almost 2 months. Okay, that's a long time for her to be handling all of the things going on in their lives and trying to be the sole parent of Matt with nobody around. Okay, April the 8th. Don't read this, Mrs. Dunfree. I was wrong. Nobody is hiring, at least not now. I went to every fast food restaurant in town, and don't think that's easy when you have to go by city bus. I filled out probably 20 applications. Daddy O's said they might be hiring in a month, and Hardee's said they might have some openings in the summer, but that was it. Great! What am I supposed to do until then? Tomorrow I'll apply at other places, Kmart, Walmart, all the stores at the mall. The thing is, who's going to hire me anyhow when they find out that I was fired from my last job? It's not like Bud would give me a good recommendation. Oh, and one more thing, when I got home, the phone didn't work. I went next door and called the phone company, and the woman on the other end put me on hold forever, and then she came back on and said, the reason your phone is out is that you're behind in your payment. When you pay your bill in full, we'll restore your service. There is a $50 hookup fee. So even if any of these places want to hire me, they're not going to be able to call me. What am I going to do? I've only got $20 left from my last Burger Boy check, and that property tax thing is due, and we don't have much food left. I mean it. What am I going to do? April the 12th. Don't read this, Mrs. Dunfree. Matt and I just had Cheerios and peanut butter for supper tonight. That was all we had in the house. He went to bed crying because he said his stomach felt all squeezed in and empty. And I think this cold isn't just a cold. I think it's the flu. I've got to do something. I've got to. Okay, can we add some facts? What are some new things that we know? Things are getting really tight money-wise. They're running out of food. Tish is getting desperate. Okay? April the 13th. Don't you dare read this, Mrs. Dunfree. I'm not the least bit proud of this, but I shoplifted today for the first time in my life. I went to Haggerty's where Mom used to work. I figured they owed us. I stuffed a package of hamburger in my jacket before buying a loaf of bread and 2 candy bars. All those times watching Sandy shoplift must have paid off because I didn't get caught. I was smart enough not to put the package in my jacket right in front of the meat case because everyone knows that butchers look out through those windows. Nope. I put the hamburger in my cart and went over to the canned vegetable aisle to cram the package into my top when no one was around. And then stupid me, I didn't pay attention to which checkout line I stood in and ended up having Mom's friend Brenda check me out. She wanted to talk and talk and talk, and she asked how Mom's new job was going, and then Mom was going to actually call Brenda again. I had almost forgotten how Mom made up that story about getting a new job, so I almost gave everything away, and while the whole time Brenda was asking me questions, the hamburger was slipping down inside my jacket. Finally, I told her I had to go to work. Hey, if you're going to steal, you might as well lie too. Once I got out of the store, I couldn't believe it. I felt free and trapped all at once, and I whispered, "You're a criminal now." All I could think was Grandma would be so ashamed, and then when I got home and fixed the hamburger for Matt and me, I realized how dumb I was. If I was going to steal meat, why hadn't I stolen something really good like steak? At least Matt got a lot to eat tonight, 3 hamburgers, and there was enough left over, so we'll have food for tomorrow night too. April the 15th. Don't read this, Mrs. Dunfree. Matt and I are still eating hamburgers, and for some reason it doesn't taste very good to me. I tell myself it's just because I had so many burgers at the Burger Boy, but I know that's not the reason. Mrs. Dunfree had me stay after class today so they could give me some big lecture about what a terrible student I've become. She asked me if I realized that I'd been absent 10 days in the past 4 weeks. I didn't know it was that much, but she's the one who's counting. I told her I'd been sick a lot. Really, a lot of those days I stayed home with Matt because he was sick. Or some of those days I was job hunting, and somehow, anyhow, I haven't felt much like going to school lately. But Mrs. Dunfrey was so suspicious that I guess I'm going to have to. I don't want her calling in the truant officer or anything. Okay, you can add truant officer to your vocab. Truant officer is the person who looks for the skipping people. Okay. Then Mrs. Dunfrey asked if I understood that I can't pass the class without turning in my research paper. I guess it was due yesterday. I haven't even opened a book, but I gave her some big story about how I'd been working on the paper, but it wasn't quite done. And couldn't she please give me an extension? I don't think that she believed me, but she was too nice to flat out say, "You're lying." She did give me an extension, but it was like, "This is your last chance." I haven't turned in any work in any other class either, so why should English be any different? I am going to flunk this year. Why should I care? Except it kind of bothers me that Mrs. Dunfrey always looks so disappointed whenever she sees me. I wish I could say, "Look, Mrs. Dunfrey, here's why that paper doesn't matter to me. You want to hear about what my life's like? It'd be such a relief to tell someone about Mom leaving. But then probably Mrs. Dunfrey'd tell someone, and then where would Matt and me be? No, I have to keep everything secret." Tish, okay, I'm impressed that you have 5 entries again, but put some of that effort in on your research paper too, all right? Okay, that's the end of today. Page 109, we're finished. Add a few facts for right now. What do we know that's new? And what are some questions we have? Add to your questions. If you're not at 10 already, let's add to some questions. What's going to happen? Does Tish figure a way out? Does Mrs. Dunfrey ever find out what's going on? Does Matt get happy? Does someone step in and help out? What are some questions you have? Add those questions right now. And then the facts. What are some new things we learned? And remember, these are the strategies that you're going to use when you get to high school. When you're reading that chemistry book or you're reading that biology book, what are the new things you learned? You're going to write those as facts in your notes. And then you're going to think, oh gosh, what else do I want to know? This is a great way to study. These same strategies are ways that you're going to study when you get to high school. Have a great rest of your day, Team Alabama, and we'll add more tomorrow.